When we see our favorite Korean stars, we think of all the fame and glamour that comes with being on our TV screens, and we often forget that some of these icons used to struggle financially. From barely being able to afford a meal on some days, to doing hard menial work just to survive, some Korean stars went through hell before making it big. In today's video, we will be looking at those icons who went from rags to riches. Trust us, there are some shocking names you would never expect. Superstar K has produced some of the most amazing stars South Korea has ever seen, with the likes of Hogak, Roy Kim, and Kwak Jin-eun. But you have to agree, its 2009 winner, Soin-guk, is the most impressive. Don't be fooled by his angelic voice and his stunning looks. Soin-guk had a harsh childhood because his parents were so poor, they could barely manage to survive. In order to put food on their table, Soin-guk's mom had to pick up trash daily, while his dad had to pick up welding jobs. At the age of 20, Soin-guk left for Seoul alone to pursue his dreams of becoming a singer. And after several failures, he got his big break when he won the first season of Superstar K. When talking about his childhood, Soin-guk always lets fans know that he is never ashamed of what they had to do to survive. And we are glad that everything turned out okay. Multi-talented Lee Chung-sun is a Korean star who can do anything. It doesn't matter if it's acting in the hottest K-drama or DJing at the party of the year, Lee Jun has got you covered. Before living such a perfect lifestyle, Jun came face to face with the kind of hardship we mostly see portrayed in the movies. Way before acting in My Father is Strange or even joining MBLAQ, the young man couldn't afford basic necessities because his family was extremely poor. While other kids at school went on school trips, poor Lee Jun could only watch because his family could never come up with the fees. He even had to stop dance classes because ballet shoes were a luxury his poor family couldn't afford. Things turned around for Lee Jun when he won a scholarship to Seoul Arts High School, which catapulted him to places like the Korean National University of Arts and then acting in a few shows. Die-hard fans of High Kick Through the Roof might find it hard to believe that Choi Daniel hasn't always lived a life of luxury. But before the fame, Daniel lived a life full of struggle. It all started with his mother passing away from a tragic sickness just when he was 5 years old. To make matters worse, his father's business failed, and the young Daniel had to be sent away to live with his aunt while his father and elder brother survived with another relative. As a young man, Choi Daniel had to take on several menial jobs to feed himself and pay for acting school. While in school, he tried out several acting gigs before he got his big break in the highly successful High Kick Through the Roof. Today, he might be one of the shining stars of Korean entertainment, but that doesn't take away from his sad childhood. All it takes is one album of IU's voice to get utterly captivated by her stunning sound, and you wouldn't even know that growing up poor almost tore her family apart as a child. The future singer didn't have much growing up, and at a point, her parents were forced to have their kids live with someone else in order to survive. IU and her little brother ended up staying with grandma in a very tiny room for a year. While trying to make the best out of life, her musical talent led her to attend several auditions in middle school until she finally landed a deal with Leon Entertainment. From then onwards, things began to change for IU, with her albums topping charts all over the world. It's hard to believe that the little girl who didn't know where her next meal would come from would go on to have millions of fans worldwide. Beauty, glamour, and elegance are the words most people associate with Park Shin-hye, but that wasn't always the case. The Stairway to Heaven star didn't come from a super rich family who tended to her every need. Instead, they all struggled financially to make ends meet. After coming of age, Park Shin-hye decided she was going to become a star actress, and her family left everything behind to support her on her journey to the top. With several successful movies like Tree of Heaven and Miracle in Cell Number 7, Park Shin-hye proved that your circumstances shouldn't stop you from following your dreams. If you're a massive fan of Jung Sung-il and his work in The Glory, then you are in for a shock, because Jung Sung-il had one of the most tragic childhoods as far as Korean movie stars go. During an interview called Yuko's on the Block, Jung Sung-il revealed parts of his childhood that nobody knew about. In his story, he explained how growing up poor, he was raised by a sister who struggled to put meals on their table. At one point, Jung Sung-il had to drink water from the sidewalk blocks to crush his hunger because they were poor. Song's story really reminds us that beneath the fame, our stars are just people. Before making it big in the acting scene, some actors go through periods where things don't work out quite as well before landing a massive role. Lee Jung-jae might have won hearts with his performance in Sandglass as the protective bodyguard who falls in love with the woman he is supposed to protect. But some 20 years prior, he barely had enough to provide for his family. As a child, Lee Jung-jae saw how hard his parents had to work to put food on their table, and it made him understand the value of hard work. With people depending on him, Lee Jung-jae worked hard until he started earning enough to provide for his family, and from there, he hasn't looked back. It is hard to picture the stunning Han So-hee as anything but rich and glamorous, but real fans know that she had her fair share of poverty. At the age of 20, Han So-hee decided she was going to pursue an acting career in Seoul with no parents to support her. She gathered all the money she could lay her hands on and left for the big city with nothing but hope and determination. While attending auditions and honing her skills, she worked at a bar to make sure she didn't starve to death. After years of struggle, Han So-hee got offered a role in the music video for SHINee's Tell Me What to Do, and her life never remained the same after that. It is no secret that Park Bo-gum had a tough time before fame. But most fans don't understand how bad things were before his big break. Coming from a humble family, Park Bo-gum lost his mother very early in his childhood, leaving him with his dad and 2 siblings. Things only got worse after his father took a loan he could never repay, which plunged them into bankruptcy. Even after making his TV appearance, Park Bo-gum had to work hard to pay off the debt, which had grown significantly due to the interest rate. Luckily, fate shined on the actor, and he got more jobs, making it easier to pay off the loan. We are glad things worked out for Park Bo-gum, because Reply 1988 and Hello Monster wouldn't be the same without him. From portraying a deadly assassin in a Hollywood blockbuster to writing songs that melt our hearts, Jung Ji-hoon, better known as Rain, is one of the most accomplished entertainers out of Asia. Yet, he had to endure many hardships as a child. In one story from his past, Rain recalls how he had to starve for several days because there was barely any food in the house. Rain's tragic backstory was made worse by the fact that his mother's health got worse with time, and his family couldn't afford the drugs to get her better. Jung Ji-hoon worked hard on his craft to provide for his family and give his mother the best care possible. But sadly, she passed away a few years after he hit the limelight. It goes without saying that Rain's story is as tragic as they come, but that hasn't stopped him from attaining great heights. From mega entertainers like Rain to musical geniuses like IU, these Korean stars might always look drop-dead gorgeous on our screens, but they all overcame significant hardship to get to this point in their careers.